Unfortunately, when it comes to trades, not all of them are exactly fair.
Wow! Pocket lint! You drive a hard bargain, Squidward.
The NFL trade deadline has been home to so many trades that forever altered the league's landscape, for better or for worse. Most of these blockbuster deals, of course, only saw one team come out happy, but there are the odd occasions where every party involved ended up a winner. Here are 5 NFL trade deadline moves that were win-win, and 5 that were totally lopsided. Win-win. The Eric Dickerson 3-team blockbuster. An extremely rare trade where not just 1 or 2 teams won, but 3 teams won this trade. The Los Angeles Rams and star running back Eric Dickerson were in the midst of a contract dispute during the 1987 season. The Rams ultimately decided to shop the future Hall of Famer, and the Indianapolis Colts and Buffalo Bills were happy to do business. The Colts traded linebacker Cornelius Bennett, the number 2 selection of that year's draft, to the Bills as Indy was unable to reach a deal with the future 5-time Pro Bowler. In return, the Colts received running back Greg Bell from Buffalo and multiple draft picks. They then traded Bell and fellow running back Owen Gill, along with those selections from Buffalo, plus other picks, to the Rams for Dickerson.
For you that you're worth 3 number 1s, 3 number 2s, and 2 other running backs?
Well, I don't know. That's a lot, isn't it? We just have to wait and see.
Well, Dickerson racked up 3 1,000-yard rushing seasons in Indianapolis and even led them to an AFC East Division title in his first year there. Bell enjoyed 2 1,000-yard seasons with the Rams and led the NFL in rushing touchdowns for the 1988 and 89 seasons. The Rams didn't do a great job with the draft haul, but they did find a productive defensive back in Darrell Henley and another stud running back in Cleveland Gary, who led the NFL in rushing touchdowns in 1990. As for the Bills, well, they were by far the biggest winners of this trade. Bennett emerged as one of the game's top linebackers of the 90s, playing an instrumental role in the Bills' 4 straight Super Bowl runs, and earning 3 first-team All-Pro nods along the way. So hey, winners all around here. Lopsided, the Herschel Walker trade. Suffice to say, history would have been a lot different if the Minnesota Vikings never committed to this trade. The playoff-bound Vikings were looking for one more star to fuel their pursuit of a Super Bowl championship. Ahead of the 1989 deadline, in a deal so historic it has its own Wikipedia page, the Vikings acquired Dallas Cowboys Pro Bowl running back Herschel Walker in exchange for a lot. Along with Walker, Minnesota received 2/3 and a 10th round pick from Dallas, plus a 5th rounder from the San Diego Chargers. Dallas received 5 players and a bundle of picks from Minnie. One of those players is running back Darren Nelson, who was then traded to San Diego. As for the giant haul of draft picks, it included a trio of 1st and 3 second-round selections. Jimmy Johnson would work his magic with those picks by strategically shopping them around. In short, Dallas's final haul from the Walker trade included the future all-time leading rusher Emmitt Smith, Pro Bowl safety Darren Woodson, standout defensive tackle Russell Maryland, and all-pro corner Kevin Smith. All 4 men were crucial parts of the Cowboys' 3 Super Bowl championship teams of the 90s. As for Walker, well, he spent 3 seasons in Minnie and only compiled 2,264 total rushing yards and 20 touchdowns there. The least he could have done was win a Super Bowl for Minnie, considering they essentially gift-wrapped 3 Lombardi trophies to the Cowboys in this deal. Win-win. Jimmy G heads to San Fran. The New England Patriots couldn't keep both Tom Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo on the roster beyond the 2017 season. With Jimmy G slated to enter free agency and Brady still playing at a high level, Bill Belichick had no choice but to deal the 2014 second-round pick. So ahead of the 2017 deadline, Belichick traded Garoppolo to the San Francisco 49ers for a second-round pick in the 2018 draft. Garoppolo filled San Francisco's void at QB, winning all 5 starts to close out the 2017 season. Though injuries to Jimmy G would wipe out the team's 2018 and 2020 campaigns, Garoppolo did enough to lead San Fran to a Super Bowl 54 appearance in the 2019 season. So hey, that counts for something. As for the Patriots, well, they would go on to reach Super Bowl 52 in the 2017 season, and sticking with Brady would eventually result in them winning one more title in the TB12 Bill Belichick era the following season. And the draft pick they received from the Niners? Well, after swapping that and a few other picks, the Patriots ended up coming away with Alabama running back Damian Harris, the number 87 selection in the 2019 draft. Safe to say, neither the Patriots nor the 49ers are asking for a mulligan on this one. Lopsided. Raiders give away Amari Cooper. In 2018, Oakland Raiders owner Mark Davis handed John Gruden a mega 10-year, $100 million contract to return to coaching following a 10-year hiatus. The former ESPN Monday Night Football analyst wasted little time doing things his way, to say the least. Before Week 1, he traded franchise star linebacker Khalil Mack to the Chicago Bears for a bundle of picks. But Mack wasn't the only star that Gruden would regrettably trade away. Ahead of the 2018 trade deadline, the Raiders traded standout receiver Amari Cooper to the whiteout-needy Dallas Cowboys for a 2019 first-round pick. After arriving in Big D, Cooper went on an absolute tear. He racked up 53 catches for 725 yards and 6 touchdowns in just 9 games, leading Dallas to an NFC East Division title as well as a trip all the way to the divisional round. Cooper has continued to play at a Pro Bowl level with Dak Prescott feeding him the ball. Meanwhile, the Raiders would use the 27th overall pick from Dallas in 2019 on Mississippi State safety Jonathan Abram. Abram has yet to develop into a reliable star, and he's nowhere close to being the type of game-changing impact player that Cooper is in Dallas. Many fans and pundits thought Jerry Jones was overly aggressive in this trade at the time. Turns out, Gruden and the Raiders were actually way too generous. Win-win. Leonard Williams stays in New York, goes to Giants. The struggling New York Jets couldn't find a way to fully unlock the potential of pass rusher Leonard Williams, the number 6 selection in the 2015 draft. They finally gave up and traded Williams to the New York Giants for a 2020 third-round pick and a 2021 fifth-rounder. At the time, many were baffled as to why Giants GM Dave Gettleman would give up that much for a player, even though the team was in the midst of a losing season. Williams couldn't find his game in 2019, but he finally broke out in 2020 with 11.5 sacks, emerging as an integral part of the Giants' defense. As a result, he was awarded a 3-year extension worth $63 million. On the other end of the deal, the Jets made solid use of those 2 picks they got from the G-Men. The 2020 third-rounder, number 68 overall, was used on safety Ashton Davis, and the 5th-rounder in 2021, 154th overall, turned into Duke cornerback Michael Carter. That gave the rebuilding Jets 2 starting defensive backs, and all they had to do was give up an underachieving pending free agent who has since flourished in his new home. Call this a rare win-win for both sides. Lopsided. Raiders swing and miss on Carson Palmer. Veteran cornerback Jason Campbell was a pleasant 2011 early season surprise in Oakland, winning 4 of his 6 starts. Campbell unfortunately suffered a broken collarbone in the team's Week 6 game against the Cleveland Browns, leaving the Raiders short-handed. They were still in contention in a weak AFC West division, however, so Oakland decided to get aggressive. Ahead of the 2011 deadline, the Raiders acquired disgruntled Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Carson Palmer in exchange for a 2012 first-rounder plus a 2013 third-rounder. Well, unfortunately, Palmer was a flop in Oakland. In 2 seasons there, he lost 16 of 24 starts and tossed 35 touchdowns against 30 picks. He was unable to get the Raiders into the postseason either year. Palmer was eventually traded away to the Arizona Cardinals in the 2013 offseason. As for the Bengals, they would get the number 17 overall pick in the 2012 draft, courtesy of Oakland. That selection was used on Alabama corner Dre Kirkpatrick, who became a quality piece in their secondary for 8 years. The Bengals would use their other pick from the Raiders, the number 37 selection of the 2013 draft, on North Carolinian running back Giovanni Bernard. Both Kirkpatrick and Bernard became solid starters in Cincy and helped them to AFC North Division titles in 2013 and 2015. Not a bad return considering the Bengals already had Andy Dalton and didn't really need Palmer anymore. Win-win. Rams acquired Jalen Ramsey. The Jacksonville Jaguars had no choice but to trade disgruntled cornerback Jalen Ramsey, who had clashed with management and coaches. The front office wouldn't give Ramsey a new contract, and with the relationship between the two parties rapidly deteriorating, it was time for both sides to move on. Ahead of the 2019 trade deadline, the Rams traded their 2020 and 2021 first-rounders plus a 2021 fourth-rounder to Jacksonville for the All-Pro cornerback. Ramsey quickly found his footing in LA and has formed perhaps the NFL's best defensive duo alongside Aaron Donald. Together, they've become franchise cornerstones for the team to build around. The Jaguars used the 2020 first-rounder from LA, the number 20 overall selection, on LSU defensive end K'Lavon Chaisson, giving the franchise another young defensive phenom to deploy alongside Josh Allen. And with the number 25 selection of the 2021 draft, again courtesy of LA, the Jaguars took Clemson running back Travis Etienne, who had supplied new franchise QB Trevor Lawrence with a familiar face on the Jags offense. Although Lawrence hasn't gotten to utilize his Clemson teammate in Duval just yet, as Etienne suffered a season-ending foot injury before his rookie season even started. Getting Chaisson and Etienne was a fine haul considering the Jaguars weren't dealing from a position of strength, not to mention that Ramsey's departure went a long way in their successful 2020 tank job for Lawrence. Lopsided. Bills hand beast mode to Seattle. The Buffalo Bills were perfectly content with the running back duo of Fred Jackson and C.J. Spiller, which made Marshawn Lynch expendable. Ahead of the 2010 trade deadline, the Bills dealt Lynch to the Seattle Seahawks in exchange for a 2011 fourth-round pick, plus a 2012 conditional pick that became a fifth-rounder. The Bills used the first pick obtained from Seattle on offensive tackle Chris Hairston and the second one on linebacker Tank Gardner. Neither of them became impact players. Lynch, who is just 2 years removed from a Pro Bowl season, made the most of his new home in Seattle. He helped the Seahawks win the NFC West with a 7-9 record. But of course, Lynch's career-defining moment came in the postseason, when his Beastquake run helped eliminate the defending Super Bowl champion New Orleans Saints in the 2010 wildcard round. That run alone made the trade worthwhile. This was certainly a franchise-changing move for the Seahawks, but not so much for the Bills. Win-win, Mike Haynes heads to Raiders. The Los Angeles Raiders were looking for that one piece to bolster their championship hopes in the 1983 season, and they found him on the New England Patriots. Ahead of the 1983 deadline, the Patriots agreed to send future Hall of Famer and perennial Pro Bowler Mike Haynes to the Raiders in exchange for a 1984 first-rounder and a 1985 second-round selection. Haynes solidified the Raiders secondary and helped the team to a Super Bowl XVIII championship that season. He would finish with 3 Pro Bowls and a pair of first-team All-Pro selections as a Raider. Using the extra picks from Los Angeles, the Patriots managed to trade up and snag Nebraska wideout Irving Fryer first overall in 1984. Fryer was a productive wideout in New England for 9 seasons, earning Pro Bowl and second-team All-Pro honors in 1985. In 2009, he was named to the franchise's 50th anniversary team. Lopsided. Packers go all in for John Hoegler. The Green Bay Packers were desperate for a quarterback in 1974, and the Rams were happy to move former AFL champion John Hoegler, who was just a year removed from a Pro Bowl season. Ahead of the 74 deadline, Hoegler, then 34 years of age, was traded to the Packers for 2 firsts, a pair of seconds, and a third-round selection. Hoegler didn't even last 2 seasons in Green Bay. He went 7-12 as a starter and had 9 touchdowns against 29 interceptions. The Rams used the 1975 first-rounder from Green Bay on defensive tackle Mike Fanning, the second-rounder on future Pro Bowl corner Monty Jackson, and the 1976 second-rounder on another future Pro Bowl defensive back in Pat Thomas. All 3 men helped turn the Rams into a juggernaut. LA went on to play in 5 NFC championships between 74 and 79, going as far as Super Bowl 14, where they fell to the Pittsburgh Steelers. What other win-win and lopsided NFL trade deadline moves should we have included on our list? Join us in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.